Hello. To start off, this is an extremely sticky situation for Jonathan and yourself, the case's supervising prosecutor. First, we must acknowledge that Jonathan has been re-entered into the juvenile system 3 times now as a 17-year-old. This does not happen simply because he made one mistake in his past. However, this is an ongoing and developing pattern of harm and violence, and it is only progressing to be worse and worse each time, since now he is facing the consequences from committing a Class 1 felony. However, here is my argument for the other side of it. Jonathan is still not fully developed, as in his brain has still not fully developed, and it probably will not until he reaches his mid-20s. So, now speaking in terms of my opinion, I am making the executive decision to say that Jonathan should be tried as an adult and sent to an adult jail or prison. Although I am choosing to try him as an adult, I would still fight for him to serve whatever time he is sentenced in a youth-designated facility as opposed to an adult prison. This is because I am a huge advocate for rehabilitation over punishment, which is what the juvenile system advocates for. Because since kids have so much more life and opportunity ahead of them, it is crucial to make sure that they receive rehabilitation instead of punishment for their crimes. Because that will only make it worse for our society in terms of recidivism, safety, crime prevention, etc. Although this is an important priority for me, I am still choosing to try Jonathan as an adult because, as I stated before, this is not simply a one-time mistake that he wants to learn from, but it is rather a pattern that keeps repeating, only getting more severe each time it happens. This is why trying him as an adult would be giving him adult accountability, which is maybe what he needs in order to show him the importance of breaking the pattern of crime, so the life he experiences in prison will be the life that he later recognizes as a very bad thing, and this will influence him to choose a better life for himself outside of prison once he is free. In terms of crime prevention, according to an article from the National Institute of Justice about crime intervention and prevention, sending juveniles to prison only increases recidivism rates and causes developmental harm. So, this topic goes obviously in direct contrast with what I claimed, which is trying Jonathan as an adult. However, I believe the topic of juvenile culpability goes in favor with my opinion, because like the description said, Jonathan committed a Class 1 felony, specifically attempted murder, meaning someone's life could have been lost, which is an extremely important thing to acknowledge. And there are other factors that go into this, such as the fact that he has been entered into the system 3 times now, and he's also an expecting father, which from the looks of his situation right now, I would say that he is in no way fit to be a father, especially obviously at his very young age. An example of juvenile culpability and how it compares to adult culpability is the Roper v. Simmons case from 2005, when a 17-year-old was sentenced to the death penalty in Missouri. The court ruled that imposing the death penalty on juveniles who commit crimes when they are under the age of 18 violates the 8th Amendment and its restriction against cruel and unusual punishment. So, this decision is what ended up banning the juvenile death penalty nationwide. The court found that juveniles have less impulse control, meaning that they also have less culpability than adults. In my opinion, this supports the decision to try Jonathan as an adult because since he is just a kid and does not have a lot of culpability, trying him as an adult would help him develop this culpability and prevent him from repeating the commitment of crimes from his past, which would overall help society as a whole by preventing reoffenders and recidivism.